Hi, I thought I'd chat tonight about my experiences with the healthcare system in this country and why I personally don't really trust doctors, prefer to go to alternative medicines, or not so much medicines but therapies, rather than going to the doctor. Um, I think we should have a healthcare system. I think we should go only in emergencies, or to have your bloods done and things like that, rather than to run to the doctor or to go to the doctor all the time with every little thing. I think we should give our bodies a chance to try and cure itself, rather than every time something happens to you, you go to a doctor. I found out the hard way that doctors really don't know all that much. When they changed my medication, they took me off one tablet called Epilin, which psychiatrists use as a mood stabiliser, at a very low dose, sort of in the morning and at night. I was put on it on a very high dose, 1900 milligrams, for to stabilise my seizures, and they took me off it. They didn't tell me that I was going to be having withdrawals from it. Nothing was mentioned to me about the fact that it stabilised my sleep patterns. It stabilised my moods, even though I didn't have problems in that respect. I still found myself having severe anxiety attacks. I couldn't sleep, and this was all because of the withdrawal from a drug that was never explained to me. And after having no sleep for nearly, or just catnapping for nearly 6 weeks, I ended up walking through the town centre in Redditch and coming across a Chinese shop that did acupuncture, and I was at my wit's end really, and I walked in there, and I just sat down in the chair, and I explained to the Chinese lady, who was really, really nice, about the problems that I was having, and that I hadn't slept, and my moods were all over the place. And I went through, and I had my first session of acupuncture out of 3 sessions at that time, and within quarter of an hour of walking through the door, I was in the back after doing it's like she was asking me different questions. She'd looked at my hands, told me things about myself that I didn't realise that were absolutely bang on, that I was full of mucus, etc., because of the medications that I was on, and I needed specific herbs rather than medicines, and hearing problems, which I had to have medicines, well, not medicines but herbs again, rather than toxic medicines from my doctor. And there were a lot of things that made so much sense to me when no one was giving me any. When I went to the doctors, I was basically told to go away. There was no help, no nothing from the doctors. They just take you off one tablet, put you onto another tablet, and then don't give you any help and any support. And in the end, I went in there because it was the last resort. It was the last resort, but it was the best thing I ever did. I walked through the doors, and within 20 minutes I was in the couch in the back having my very first ever session of acupuncture, and it was the best thing I ever did. The best thing. If I'd have known about this years and years ago, because you're not told about these things, I would have been so much better. And I've never looked back. Never looked back. I was asleep, and they let me sleep in the back for over an hour after my first session, and I hadn't slept for weeks, because they balance, with acupuncture, they balance your energies, and I was totally out of whack, and it was the best sleep I'd had, and I cannot say enough. They were absolutely brilliant, and I went back another 2 times, and I cannot say enough about acupuncture. I also had cupping, which is where they put a flame into a glass and they attach it to the back of your skin, and it forms a vacuum and then sucks toxins out, and that was absolutely brilliant. And they were fantastic. there are so many different types of alternate therapies that you can go to and you can try. Yes, you have to pay, but at least you're getting something for your money that actually works, as opposed to tablets that really they don't add to your health, they take from your health. I can remember going to the doctors and saying, I'm having really bad pains, headaches. I'd like to know what's causing them, and and what you can do. And the doctor said to me, we can give you a painkiller. I said, I don't want a painkiller. I want to know why I'm having the headaches. And they said, well, all we can do is give you painkillers. And I said, that's not what I want. I want to know what's causing the pain in my head. And it could be a deficiency in minerals, it could be dehydration, it could be magnesium deficiency, it could be a number of things. But all I got from the GP was, we'll give you a tablet. But tablets don't fix anything. And this is my whole point about alternate medication or alternate therapies. They just are so much better. I'll say more in part 2.